Hello students, welcome to the 8th chapter Civil Disobedience Movement, Standard 8th, Subject History, Part 2. Last session we have talked about 3 events, that is Salt Satyagraha in Dandi, Gujarat on 12th March 1930 led by Mahatma Gandhi ji. Then we had discussed about Peshawar Satyagraha on 23rd April 1930 at Peshawar by Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, who was also the follower of Gandhiji. Next we discussed about Solapur Satyagraha. This Satyagraha was led by mill workers of Solapur on 6th May 1930. So today let's continue with our lesson with the next Satyagraha, that is Dharasana Satyagraha. Dharasana Satyagraha was led by Sarojini Naidu at Dharasana in Gujarat. In Gujarat, there is a place named Dharasana. For this Satyagraha, many Satyagrahis were present and were following Gandhiji's principle of non-violence. But the police who were present there lathi charged on the Satyagrahis who came forward to break the Salt Act. Now in the last session, we had studied about the Salt Act Satyagraha, which was led by Gandhiji. Gandhiji had picked up salt from Dandi seashore and broke the Salt Act. This way, Gandhiji spread Satyagraha message all over India. So similarly in different regions, all the Satyagrahis were practicing Satyagraha in their respective regions. Looking at all the protesters all practicing Satyagraha, the Britishers felt the threat and they started their lathi charge on the Satyagrahis. But the Satyagrahis silently tolerated all the blows of the lathi. They were silently bearing all the blows. Satyagrahis were not backing out. They were not ready to move back. They were bearing all the tyrants of the Britishers. And when those Satyagrahis were taken for the medical aid, another batch of the Satyagrahis came forward to replace them. So it means Satyagrahis had made batches to protest. So any Satyagrahis who were beaten too harshly or if they were hurted very badly, Satyagrahis took them for medical aid and a new batch was replaced. And the protest continued endlessly. It was such a powerful event that they wanted to break the act. But the Britishers were putting in too much force on Satyagrahis to give up. They warned them. They started lathi charge. But this time, Indians were not ready to back out. Even in Maharashtra, Salt Satyagraha took place in different places like Wadala, Malwan and Shiroda. Now where there were no seashore or salt pans, Satyagrahis in those regions started to break forest laws. Now as forest is also a resource, the Britishers had put in lots of restrictions in the forest also. Local people were not allowed to take anything from the forest without the permission of the Britishers, and if they require anything, they need to pay along with the tax also. Local people were only allowed to take dry leaves. Other than that, they weren't allowed to take anything from the forest or jungle. So Satyagrahis also broke those laws. There were jungle Satyagrahas at Bilashi, Sangamner, Kalwan, Chirner, Pusad in Maharashtra. The tribal people who stayed in the interior of jungles, even they took part in the Satyagraha in large numbers. So this way the Satyagraha was taking place all over India and each and every Indian were participating in it. Now they be of any caste, creed or religion, they all came together in this Satyagraha. In Mumbai, there was an agitation against foreign goods. The next topic that we are going to discuss is about Babu Jainu. Babu Jainu was a very important personality who inspired many people. In Mumbai, there was one protest going on against the foreign goods. That is, all the foreign goods that were coming in India, the Indians were protesting against it. And the vehicles which were transporting foreign goods, they were obstructed, that is stopped, and people were not letting them go forward. Now Babu Jainu was a mill worker and he was in the Mumbai forefront with all the Satyagraha movement. He got the news that the truck loaded with foreign goods will be going to pass through Mumbai region, and police were safeguarding the truck as Britishers were also aware about the movement of boycotting foreign goods. As soon as Babu Jainu got the news, he came in front of the truck, and to stop the truck, he laid down on the road without thinking about his life. Police threatened him, but Babu Jainu stayed firm. He did not listen to them at all. He holded his ground and he laid down on the ground, not letting the truck move forward. So the Britishers, as they were very cruel, what they did, they ran over Babu Jainu, crushing him under the truck. And this is how Babu Jainu gained martyrdom. Martyrdom means a person who is killed because of their religious or political belief. So this is how Babu Jainu died, sacrificing himself for the country's freedom. This sacrifice of Babu Jainu gave inspiration to the national movement. After this incident, national movement became more powerful as people got more angry. Earlier also, many such incidents had occurred like Jallianwala Bagh massacre or Bengal famine. Many people died. Lala Lajpat Rai was also killed by blowing lathis on his head during lathi charge. Many such incidents had occurred. So now this incident of Babu Jainu was also a big tragic incident. So people became more furious, and now the anger in people wanted to end all of this and get freedom for the country. Now let us look at some of the features of civil disobedience movement. All the movements till now were limited only to urban areas, but this movement became a nationwide movement. People from rural areas registered their participation. Women also took part in large numbers. Kasturba Gandhi, Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay, Avantika Bai Gokhale, Leelavati Munshi, Hansaben Mehta led the Satyagraha. This movement was based on complete non-violence. The British government was trying to greatly suppress the movement, but the people protested unarmed. Due to this, the Indian people became fearless and wanted to gain freedom. With the struggle going on all over the country, Britishers turned their focus on civil disobedience movement and on the constitutional issues regarding India. In the opinion of the British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald, while the civil disobedience movement was going on, the constitutional issues regarding India should be thought over. For this purpose, he organized a conference at London. London is the capital of England. This conference is known as a Round Table Conference. In the period between 1930 to 1932, 3 Round Table Conferences were organized. In this conference, members were called, that is India's main leaders during India's struggle, political leaders and intellectual leaders were called for the conference, and they organized the Round Table Conference. First Round Table Conference. Ramsay MacDonald was the chairman of the Round Table Conference. In this Round Table Conference, both England and India's representatives participated in the conference. India's representatives included Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Sir Tej Bahadur Sapru, Barrister Jinnah, etc. All the main leaders of that time, all were present in the conference. So like this, many discussions were held and all different political parties' representatives and even rulers of princely states participated in the conference. But the only party that did not participate in the first Round Table Conference was the Indian National Congress Party. The biggest political party during 1930 was Congress Party, but the Congress Party did not attend the conference. The Indian National Congress was the main body that represented the country India. As the main representative of the Indian National Congress Party did not attend the Round Table Conference, the deliberation, that is the discussion in the Round Table Conference, were meaningless. So the first Round Table Conference became a failure. So students, in the next part of the civil disobedience movement, we will understand the reason behind the absence of the Indian National Congress in the first Round Table Conference and also about the next 2 Round Table Conferences. Thank you.